Thank you for joining us today for the 40th meeting of the Board of Lake County Commissioners. Would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority. And may we use in our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen. Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Here.
Commissioner Young.
Here.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Okay, this brings us to our first public comment portion, and we have some guests here today. Would you care to come up and start us off?
Perfect. Thank you, Commissioners. Today I have brought with me Roger Sustar and Juliana Petty from AWT.
That's wonderful, but tell the world who you are. Come on, young man.
I am Patrick Mahorsic. I'm the Director of Workforce Development for the Lake County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you.
As I said before, we're excited to welcome our guests from AWT Alliance for Working Together. We are happy to announce a new formal partnership with AWT in developing an apprenticeship program for manufacturing in Lake County. So without further ado, I will now turn it over to Juliana to talk about the program. She wrote the policy and got it for state approval, and she'll talk to you more about it.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, everyone
Good morning.
here. Thank you so much for having us here today. My name is Juliana Petty, and as Patrick said, I serve as the Executive Director of the Alliance for Working Together. For everyone in the room, I just want to give a brief background on who AWT is. We're a 501c3 nonprofit in Northeast Ohio, based here in Lake County proudly. We have over 500 manufacturing company members, community schools, and organizations all working to promote rewarding manufacturing careers. Just because we often have what you call a stigma problem. If you talk to someone, they may think manufacturing is dark, dirty, and dangerous, but we know, especially in Lake County, that's not the case anymore. So what Patrick was talking about, I want to give you a background on the AWT apprenticeship program. This is a really exciting initiative, especially for those who are unemployed currently, because it offers a career pathway in manufacturing. So what this program is, originally we designed it for incumbent workers. So in a manufacturing facility, they're running a business. So running an apprenticeship program is often tough. So what AWT does is we come in and we have a Department of Labor certified apprenticeship program. It's an IRAP model, which is Industry Recognized Apprenticeship Program, which means it's business oriented. And then we have the ODJFS distinction of Ohio Registered Apprenticeship Program. So what's really powerful about our program is that the people going through this apprenticeship program will have both a nationally portable journeyman certificate as well as recognized by the state of Ohio. And what the program offers within it, it's really exciting. We take people in, we do the process. A company may say, hey, I have 8 people that would go through the program. Can you help me select one? We do a fair and equitable selection process. We provide them with a Chromebook to do their online work. We provide them with what's called an apprenticeship success coach, where we text the apprentices or call them, email them every week to make sure they're staying up on their related instruction online. We also coach them in life and make sure that they know that this is a really big deal, that the leadership of their company sees them as a future of manufacturing. And then the next thing we do is we meet at Auburn Career Center. We partner with Auburn. So this is part of their adult workforce, which is really exciting. And the apprentices meet once per week from 3 to 5 p.m. All of the employers, we currently have 5 employers: Freedon Corporation, Remico Products, Juergens Industrial Mold and Machine. And all of those companies come together and they send these workers, and it's really nice because it has a cohort that they're able to do and be successful together. So with that, we wanted to take this program that's already successful, that has 20 apprentices that are currently learning, doing well, very excited about, their careers in manufacturing. And we wanted to take that to those who are unemployed. So right now, we have 3 companies signed up, CRT, Component Repair Technologies, Spence Technologies, and then those companies and Lincoln Electric, of course, and we're having them interview employees. We'll do kind of a draft pick of, who goes where, who fits best, and then we'll sign them up for the apprenticeship program. So that way, it's 100%, a pathway into manufacturing, and they can get trained, which is exciting. So in February, we'll start the unemployment to apprenticeship program. And by the way, the best thing about this program is it's 100% reimbursable to the companies through both the Tech Cred initiative and through some of the CARES Act funding that came through workforce. So there's really, no strings attached. This is just a great program to get people who are unemployed and incumbent workers a better pathway to wage increases, leadership positions in manufacturing.
Well, I'll just one quick addition. I just want to say how impressed I am with how comprehensive this program is, and it truly does express the value of the individual. So that's key to success. Commissioner Young, you had a comment?
Yeah, thanks for coming out today. This is critically important to the future of Lake County and all of our folks individually, as John was emphasizing. I love it. I love it. How does it work with the Auburn program?
So what's really exciting is we partnered with Auburn. So we enroll them as Auburn students, and AWT provides the instructor and all of the other reporting for ODJFS and the Department of Labor. So it's really collaborative. It's not stealing students or anything like that. It's really collaborating, which has been, thank you all so much through your leadership. That's what Lake County is. It's a collaborative place.
Yeah, that's what impressed me about it, too. It supports Auburn. And but expands the offerings for training. And how much of it will be virtual?
So they normally we enroll them in 3 online courses. And what's really nice about being a 501c3 is we don't have FERPA laws that a lot of, privacy things to not report back to the company on how they're doing on classes. So we're able to really success coach them. So normally they'll spend an hour every week online, and they'll be completely caught up in their courses.
Okay. Are they expected to have Zoom capability, or how does that work?
So we add extra Zooms for people who might need tutoring or extra help, but the classes are all self-online, self-paced, which is really nice. We set certain milestones to help them, not leave it all to the end of the program, because we all have those people in our life.
I know one of them, intimately.
But the rest is really the hands-on, because in these hands-on careers, we really need that skill.
And so they're doing a lot of hands-on work at the companies, and then they're training, or at least some of it, online.
Yep, and with the on-the-job training, AWT helps provide that to companies. So I've gone into Juergens, for example, and helped them come up with a comprehensive list of what a successful Juergens company employee looks like. And I help them kind of develop that training internally. And then they do Auburn, which is really nice because you're not talking about production. So you're not having $4,000 in scrap, and you're not damaging $300,000 worth of machinery, but you can.
Sure, that's keeping Roger happy.
Exactly.
For years now, our workforce team here at the county has had difficulty recruiting people for these programs for a myriad of reasons. Has that been working a little bit?
I can talk a little bit about that, actually, very quick about our role. Perfect. That actually is a nice segue. I want to talk about how the Commissioner's Office and Ohio Means Jobs Lake County is going to play an integral role in this. So the state approved workforce development boards to use WIOA funding for apprenticeship programs on July 1st of 2020. So we acted very fast and working with Juliana to help develop this kind of partnership and develop this manufacturing apprenticeship program. The cost over the 4 years is actually very affordable. It's about $8,000. It'll be paid each year. It'll be $2,000 each year, and each year we get what's called a skills gain report, so we can evaluate the person's performance And we'll also be able to provide what's called supportive services. This would include books, uniforms, steel-toed boots. Total, that's a one-time cost of about $400. And the funds will be paid actually directly to AWT, who's the apprenticeship provider. And we will be working with Juliana to help identify qualified applicants for the beginning of training in February of 2021. But that doesn't mean that with this earn to learn model Juliana developed, you get to begin your working before the February 21st deadline. So we're actually going to start marketing this today. We're using our social media, our, I'll call our grassroots, so with the chambers as well, and all of our other partnerships with the schools and things like that. And then we hope to kind of build that cohort with that, build the first cohort up to start the education aspect in February 21. And we're also just happy to be partnering with Auburn again. They've been a long-time trusted partner of the Lake County Workforce Development Board and Ohio Means Jobs Lake County in providing a multitude of different trainings. So we're excited about that as well. So we will be working with Juliana hand in hand to identify candidates through this program.
Sounds great, Patrick. Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off just then.
Oh no, that was all I had. So.
Okay.
Mr. President? Please, sir.
A couple questions maybe for both of you. Thank you for coming in and for doing such a great job here for Lake County. I know that, of course, I know Roger very well, and Tom Wheeler and John Ribick and Jack Schron. These are manufacturing folks, and I'm missing a lot of others, but those are the folks that I know well. And so our hats off, since Roger's the only one here of that group, so hats off to you, Roger, for your dedication to this, and to your colleagues as well, because Lake County's economic future is going to be reliant on the health of manufacturing, period. And it's programs like these that are very creative. I don't know, is there anything like this anywhere else in the state that you know of?
I will say the Department of Labor, Secretary Eugene Scalia visited us specifically.
Right.
Move over to the microphone because the people viewing can't hear you.
Yeah.
So the Department of Labor, Secretary Eugene Scalia actually visited us a couple weeks ago because there's nothing like this in the rest of our nation.
So I've been, as you know, I've been spending a lot of time talking to people in Columbus these days, and a lot about workforce development, because it comes up all around the state. And I look forward to, not only are you probably the only one in the country, but you're certainly the only one in the state, I think, that has a program like this. And I look forward to having you come down to Columbus next year and talk a little bit more about this, because it's a great example of what leadership means. You're leading the solution to a problem. And you've gathered people together from different areas to help solve this problem, and that's tremendous, and we should all be proud of that. All of you should be proud of it, certainly. Do we still have? Last I heard was a statistic that we have currently 1,900 open manufacturing jobs in Lake County. Is that a number that is still credible, Patrick?
It's still a credible number. That might have changed since the last time we talked about that, but it's still going to be hovering around that 1,900. It could be more or less. Unemployment did drop a little bit. The filing claims did drop, so some people might have gone back to work on recall rights.
But still, we still have an 8% roughly.
Yes, exactly.
And I have 1,900 job openings and an 8% unemployment. It just doesn't make sense. But I understand why it is.
Yep.
But that's another issue that you're going to help is get that unemployment number down.
Absolutely.
For sure. Let's see. I think that's all my questions, but great job and congratulations.
Yeah, I did want to mention one last thing. One last thing that I wanted to mention to you guys that we're working on currently. I'm a big advocate for making sure that people have pathways into higher education if they'd like. So we're currently working with Lakeland Community College. An enrollment specialist will come to our apprentices, and they may receive credit for prior work towards an associate's degree. And we're also working with the leaders at Lake Erie College to develop what's called a bachelor's degree and a STEM applied, as well as a manufacturing master's management program, which our apprentices can take advantage of if they'd like.
And I meant to ask you, I'm glad you reminded me, the facility, Roger, that you're building in front of your current location?
Someday.
Yeah, I was just curious what the status is of that.
What's really exciting is that we think there's favorable outcomes for the state capital bill after the election. So we're working on that currently. And right now we've had some private foundations already commit to the donations, as well as a few manufacturing partners as well.
And what's the number you need?
We're currently about $1 million short. Our total is $3.5 million. So we pretty much have that commitment for the 2.5.
Okay. From a variety of sources?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And while you're all here, Roger, I want to commend you. It's not easy for a type A, self-motivating, self-starting individual to have a great idea and then hand it over to people to make it happen. I have to give you high praise for being a visionary and being a professional. You personify what it is to actually make things happen. And Juliana, I give you high praise. You've taken a good program and you're taking it to new levels, helping us to be able to compete nationally and internationally. Magnificent. Setting a national standard. Absolutely.
Mr. President, notwithstanding the praise of Mr. Sustar, but we all know for the record that Judy is the brains in the family.
Well,
No, I'd like to say something about these two young people here, Juliana. and
Got to
Patrick.
come up.
yep.
We're live streaming, Raj, so.
And hang on, Patrick, you're not off the hook yet.
I just
too,
want to
so.
say something about these two young people, Patrick Mahorsic and Juliana Petty. Lake County and our manufacturing workforce is in great hands with these two young people. They are collaborating together with many things that I never thought OJFS and us, whatever, manufacturers would ever work together, and we're real excited. And maybe we can use Jerry's help to talk to Mr. Wheeler over at CRT. He's on my hit list, so I want to be talking to him also about some donations for some of the equipment that we're working on. And this is a real exciting opportunity. We're really excited, and I'm so pleased that these two are going to carry the ball forward, because I can't push it much further. But thank you for the praise,
Indeed.
and thank these
Indeed.
people. They are the real.
Oh,
They are the real movers and shakers.
agreed.
Great, thanks, Raj.
Agreed.
Thank you.
And now, Patrick, now this is not going to substitute for a performance review, okay?
Oh, come on, let's just do it right here.
But I would be remiss if I did not point out there was a reason why I asked you to introduce yourself. You need to start taking credit and having your name associated with things. You were chosen for this office because we saw in you a person who could take, again, a good program and make it great. You are doing exactly what we ask for. Where a best practice does not exist, we create it. And you are a part of that. And that, thank you. You are validating the decision to bring you on board with every action. So there you go. And again, that does not substitute for performance review. Our HR guy is in the audience here. He's sitting there like, gee, John, thanks.
Wait,
But
I
high
think-
praise. Now,
I'm afraid you've gone too far.
gone too far. So I say something nice about Joel. He was one of the people who
last-
recommended him. So
The last thing we
good
need,
call, Joel.
Last thing we need is another prima donna in these hallowed halls.
I don't think we're going to ever have that. The sincerity from these young people
We're
is
watching
amazing.
you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Yes, that's why we got your name out there. It's like, oh, that guy.
Well,
Great
thank you.
work, great work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for allowing me to fulfill in this position, and excited to continue doing good work on behalf of Lake County.
Keep it
Oh,
up.
bless
Thank you.
Thank you all. And if you want to sit through the meeting, you're more than welcome. Or if you want to, as Snagglepuss would say, exit stage left, you're welcome to do that too. Yes, I'm showing my age with a Snagglepuss reference.
Stage right, it would be.
No, no, it
stage
would
right. Yes.
It'd be house left. Sorry, stage right, house left. Thank you, Commissioner.
I'm just-
There you go. But how many people know there's a difference between house right and stage right? See that? Anyway, now we're really getting into
Okay.
minutia. We're also still in the public section. Jason,
Nobody?
and we have a guest. Do we want to,
These guys.
for our loan grant program? Yes, no, maybe? Oh, got it. Okay, very good. Okay, moving on. So we have no public comments as indicated by our county administrator that have come in electronically. So if there's no one else in the audience who wishes to address this board in the first public comment portion, we will move on to the resolutions. Madam Clerk, first resolution, please.
In the Utilities Department, resolution authorizing execution of a sanitary sewer billing service agreement between the Board of Lake County Commissioners and the Village of Lakeline for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to adopt?
Second.
And discussion. Randy, you want to give us the history on that?
Sure. Lake County took over the water system in the West End communities in the mid-'80s. The communities continue to provide their own sanitary sewer service and continue to this day. Because we were sending out bills to all our water customers, we agreed to also bill the sanitary sewers for the communities, and then we collect the money and reimburse each community on a quarterly basis. We agreed to do that, but there was never a formal agreement to do that through each community. So that's what this agreement, and over the next month or two, we hope to have an agreement from each community in front of the board for approval, resolution, just to formalize that agreement and continue to provide that service for the communities.
Very good. Formalizing and memorializing. I'm sure that keeps our legal department very happy. That gentle little nod there, yes. Yes, I'm sure you're still going to have no report. I get it, but we're good. Further discussion?
None?
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes?
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $509,887 to Davis Diggers Incorporated for Green Drive Waterline Replacement Project 423W.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Discussion? Randy, do you want to give us some background on that as well, please?
Sure, another project, part of our 2020 capital improvement plan. And again, we're getting nice prices on these, and I think we'll have one or two more yet this year to award, and then this will be under construction soon through the winter.
Very good. Further discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution authorizing execution of an agreement between the Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Law Library Resources Board with West Thompson Reuters Business for the Westlaw Next Government Select Online Database.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Discussion? Jason, did you want to add anything?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Excuse me. Good morning, Commissioners. This is just a request from Library Director Murphy. This is a 5-year contract with Westlaw, and this is a legal research plan that our government passhold holders can use and access at the Law Library. It's used by multiple departments, and this was approved by the Law Library Board, approved by the Prosecutor's Office, and is in front of you this morning for adoption.
And it is locked in with only a 1% increase per year maximum?
That is correct.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes.
Resolution approving an enterprise zone agreement between Preston Products LLC and the City of Willoughby, under which Preston Products agrees to establish, expand, renovate, or occupy a facility in the Lake County Enterprise Zone and hire new employees or preserve employment of existing employees in return for certain tax incentives specified in said agreement. 50% real property, 10 years, create 5 to 10 jobs, relocate 41 jobs.
Move to adopt?
Second.
And discussion. Jason, do you want to get your steps in here, or do we want to have? Mr. Cahill, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm here today as a manager of the Board of Commissioners Enterprise Zone. We do have an Enterprise Zone agreement in front of you here, which has already been approved by the City of Willoughby on Tuesday evening. Little background, this is Preston Products, who manufactures and develops medical training products. The mannequins, the training mannequins, the CPR mannequins, they are the world leader in providing them and distributing them, as well as some other training products. They've been in Mayfield Village, and they've looked hard to find a place to grow in Mayfield Village, working with the mayor, et cetera, and they just came to the conclusion that just won't fit with the expansion they need, so they have been looking and came to Willoughby. They plan to purchase 11 acres of property on Lost Nation Road, the corner of Aquarius and Lost Nation, across from the airport, and construct a 40,000 square foot building and bring their 37 employees, full-time employees, from Mayfield Village to Willoughby. And then over the next 3.5 years, by the end of 2024, add 10 more. Their payroll now is $2.3 million, and they'll add at least $400,000 at the end of the term. As you mentioned, it's a 50% real property exemption for 10 years. And as I mentioned, Willoughby approved the legislation on Tuesday, and we're asking you to do the same today.
Are they on Beta Drive?
They are on Beta Drive, yes.
Mayfield Village?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And they've rented as many of the locations.
Yeah.
And now they
The
can't grow.
the
They can't
modular
grow.
spaces, yeah.
And this is an $8 million overall investment in Lake County, $5 million for the property and the building, $1 million for the new equipment, and $2 million in inventory. So it'll be a nice addition to Willoughby and Lake County.
Great.
And Commissioner Young, you had a comment?
Yeah, you know, I've been involved in several things of this nature over the years. And it's very few people understand what an enterprise zone is. Could you give us just a quick overview? I'm talking a novice description, 3-4 sentences.
Yeah, some communities have a CRA, or a community reinvestment area, where it's automatic. You get tax abatement for X amount of pre-approved time and amount. In Lake County, they created the Lake County Enterprise Zone, which comprises all the county except for, I believe, Wade Hill and Kirtland Hills. And it has to be approved by the community, and then ultimately or finally approved by the commissioners. And it's for economic development. If not this, it would not happen. And in this case, because they were hoping to rent and continue on and can't, they have to come up with an $8 million investment, and this will help them to get over that hurdle to be able to do that. So it goes through the process. As I said, Willoughby has approved it already. The agreement's in place. You've seen it. It's not signed because they had their meeting electronically on Tuesday night, so we'll have to, assuming you approve it, get you the documentation to approve probably later next week. But that's the idea. It's for economic development, to take the edge off of the tax burden in order to create jobs.
Tim, how does a company qualify to participate in our enterprise program?
They need to participate really by showing that they need this enterprise zone agreement or abatement in order for the project to go forward. And it's approved, particularly in this case, when they're moving from one community to another in the state of Ohio, it has to be approved by OEDA in Columbus. So we've had a hearing with the commissioner of OEDA. They make a decision to allow an exception to move and have abatement, because they're not in the business to have cities or companies move from city to city in Ohio. So they're protecting
Because the jobs are not incremental to Ohio.
Correct. In this case, there will be 10 incremental jobs as the project completes, and they build out over the next 3.5 years. And there also is a requirement to notify the schools, so that they have an opportunity to weigh in, and if it's a high enough abatement or long enough term, they are allowed to veto it. In this case, it's below the threshold, so they have the opportunity, and given the opportunity, to respond and ask questions and have meetings, which they did not do. I had conversations with the treasurer in Willoughby, and they did not respond to the letter. And we also are required to notify the village of Mayfield, which we've done, and again, no response, because they worked with the company for quite a time to try to keep them there, and they understand that they can't.
So you're saying it's based upon the need of the company, the level of need the company can describe, or is it if it's part of the negotiation to move them here, then it becomes a consideration as well? Is it one of those or both of those?
It's both of those. I mean, primarily, the company has to come to the city, come to the county, and come to the state and indicate that we need to have this abatement in order for us to move forward. In this case, because instead of paying a little more rent for some more space, they have to make an $8 million investment, which is significant, and so therefore they've asked for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
And
thank you.
While you're there, I realize you wear many hats, and as long as we're handing out compliments, I will thank you. Back in 2017, when Commissioner Suna and I took office, we were dealing with losing a major employer here in Lake County. And our positive charge to you and others was keep the businesses in Lake County, bring businesses to Lake County. And you and your group have in fact been doing that. It is much appreciated. The circumstances that caused people to leave and businesses to leave, you flipped the script, I think is the proper term these days. And now those very reasons that people are leaving, they're now coming to Lake County. Businesses are staying and expanding. And for that, we thank you, and that's one of the reasons why we have such a strong rebound and we're maintaining employment here in Lake County. I think we're, at about 8.2 Jason, what's our unemployment rate, about 8.8 now? Oh, we're down to 8.2? Okay. So, thank you, you're playing a key role in that.
you,
Projects
Commissioner.
like this are very, very consistent with our goals, so thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Commissioner.
serving the people
Appreciate it.
very well. Thank you, sir. Okay, always good to talk about responsible, common sense activities. Okay, so with that, if there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution reappointing Tom Dreyer to the Lake County Senior Citizen Advisory Panel for a 3-year term ending September 30th, 2023.
Second?
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution appointing Lisa Siciliano Miller to the Lake County Senior Citizen Advisory Panel for a 3-year term ending September 30th, 2023.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $1,418,668.28.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $562,512.31.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Okay, this brings us to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities. Very good. Thank you, sir. And let's see, County Administrator Jason Boyd.
Good morning again, Commissioners.
He's bringing a spreadsheet. This is going to be.
Well, this is my brief good news update on the Commissioner's loan and grant program that we're administering with CARES Act funds. We're up to $602,000 that we've issued to the local business community as of our committee meeting on October 19th. $412,000 in small business grants at $5,000 a grant, and then $190,000 and a handful of loans that we've granted to the community. So, if you recall, we were at about $700,000 in that bucket. So we're progressing nicely along the way there. So a brief update. And of the 90 or so transactions, 46 are either a women or minority-owned enterprise. So we're trying to hit all breadths of our business community. And secondly, briefly, our budget's holding its own. We're cautiously optimistic with what 20 holds, and then 21 is going to be the unknown factor right now. But we're holding our own as we start to see preliminary numbers for the end of the third quarter, end of the fourth quarter. Thank you.
President?
Excellent. Mr. Strano.
Jason, I've noticed that there are a number of cities that are doing some business grants or loans
Yeah.
based on their COVID dollars that they got from the state. Is there any coordination going on?
We've talked to all those chamber folks or ED reps in those particular communities. If you recall, our CARES Act program is through the CDBG bucket. So ours is probably a little bit tighter as far as some of the rules that we must play within. The community dollars are traditional CARES Act, where I think there's a little less guardrails, which is a good thing. So we're trying to identify maybe those folks we couldn't help. That maybe I think Willowix just announced one that we can maybe help some of those folks through that initiative. If you do recall, though, a couple weeks ago, Rhea Benton announced that HUD had opened up a new category called urgent need, which was huge for us to go back to our spreadsheet, and our underwriting team has contacted those businesses that initially did not qualify with all of the HUD parameters, and we probably had 15 or so in the past 2 weeks that have been engaged in the process and have been approved with some of the
They're all had come back.
coming back in. So we kept all those business contacts, and we've been reaching out to those folks, and from florists to barbers to small IT outfits, the whole breadth of the small business community. I think that you guys initially talked about in May. We're definitely hitting those. So.
And our loan and grant review committee is Tim
Cahill,
Amy Sabbath.
Amy Sabbath, Bob Dawson, who works alongside Patrick, myself, Rhea Benton. Tim, you're going to have to help me. David Radacci, the director, serves as an advisor on zoning issues. Is that it? I think I got him.
Yeah, well, but make sure you pass on to all the committee members, and thanks to you guys since you're here for spending the time to do that.
Yeah, we meet every Monday for an hour or so and just review the reports. And if we have a couple questions, sometimes we'll table one just to make sure that they're in compliance with zoning, or if there's a question with some of their financials. But trying to be, as you guys had wished, as flexible as we can to help these folks.
What would be helpful to know is, when maybe a little more time goes by here, we've gotten some feedback from some of the recipients of the loans and grants. But what would be, and we're not looking for thank yous. We're looking for, how did this impact your business?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it may be too soon to really gauge that, but it would be helpful for us to know, a few months down the road,
Sure.
Okay, you got a grant or a loan, and it was intended to keep you from going
Sure.
under, or to make your lives a little bit more positive. It'd be great to have some kind of a follow-up with
I'm currently working with one or two to hopefully get here.
Okay.
I think that was what Commissioner Hammercheck may have been alluding to earlier today.
Yeah.
A lot of these small business owners also have 9-to-5 jobs
Right.
that I've found out, which is the instances in the one small business that we would like to come and share their story. So
Yeah.
your point's well taken. So I've been working with a couple folks just to hear their story and come and present the impact it's had on them. So thank you.
Okay.
Jason, what kind of interaction does a struggling company in Lake County have with any kind of county government, generally? What would you expect?
Well, I guess.
I mean, a business that has to lay off a number of people and maybe cut the hours of operation. And,
Well, from an employment standpoint.
a slow slide downhill.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been going through it for a year. Is there any required contact with the county of any sort?
Well, on the downslide scenario, if there's an employment reduction, there's interaction that they must be in contact with the Job and Family Services folks if it's a certain number of folks who may lose a job.
So they contact, excuse me, but if they're big enough, if they're going to lay off
A substantial number of folks.
20 people?
I don't know, Patrick, if you might know what that is. If the company is going to downsize or eliminate jobs, they have to know, and I don't know the threshold of what that is.
My
but-
thinking is just maybe if you could sort of roll around a bit in the back of your mind. When a company comes to the county with problems of that nature, maybe programs like this could be presented to them at that point in time. As just part of the SOP.
Sure. Patrick, do you-
Yeah, when a company lays off 50 or more employees, they have to apply to this. They have to let the state know. It's what's called a warn notice, and then that triggers Ohio Means Jobs, Lake County, and then we do what's called a rapid response program. Now we don't share with them about loan programs, but we share it with their employees about getting registered at the Ohio Means Jobs Center and looking to get them back into the workforce as quickly as possible. Either talking to them about getting retrained or getting a job that might be already available in our database on ohiomeansjobs.com.
If they're that big, this program probably wouldn't have huge impact.
Sure, but that's kind of what we do now. But
So there's no there isn't any kind of situation where you'd have smaller companies that would have any interaction with the county.
No,
I
we
wouldn't
would.
think so. I operated my company for 33 years here. There was very little contact with county government.
Yep, we are working the state to trying to get that information, but they are it's kind of a legal battle. We would like to see who is still filing, which companies people are filing unemployment to, because then we can reach out to them, no matter the size, to get them the resources they may need to get back on their feet. That's the state of Ohio is dealing with that negotiation with the Ohio Workforce Association, which is the association of all the workforce development boards in
Yeah,
the state.
that's what I was thinking, that anyone who files for unemployment, get the name of the company.
Yes.
Just send them a letter or something.
Hopefully we'll have
And
that.
you're already, you're knocking on that door now.
Yes,
I see.
I'm optimistic to hopefully have it by the end of the year, but I don't know when that's going to be. That's going to be up to the state of Ohio and their legal team.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yep.
Very good, thank you. Very good, thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I just wanted to mention the next Commissioners' meeting is going to be Thursday, October 29th at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. And Legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. You say that with such authority. Okay, this brings us to our old business portion of our meeting. Do we have any old business? None being heard. New business. Do we have any new business? Well, I'll just weigh in. Yesterday we had a press conference to talk about rolling out a unified policy and documentation system. I think it goes without saying that will be, I think the word unprecedented this year has been used more than I think any time in my life, but this is unprecedented in a good way, and literally we are a part of making history. As you know, I'm always quick to say thank you to those people who make things happen, and although Legal never seems to have a report unless it's really bad, I'm going to say something really good. The participation of Mr. Hackman, the prosecutor's office in general, was instrumental in making sure as we were putting this presentation together and making sure we were checking off the boxes and making sure that everything was done in due form as we brought it forward to our announcement and the proceedings that will be occurring in the coming days. If you do not have a good legal team putting something together, you're setting yourself up for failure. And Mr. Hackman, I'd like to thank you and the prosecutor's office for your guidance and your support, and candidly, the enthusiasm of the support. That's much appreciated. So with that in mind, do we have any other new business? Or? Okay, then moving on to our second public comment portion. Jason, do we have any electronic? Indicating none. Anyone in our audience wish to address the board? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes, thank you for joining us. This meeting stands adjourned.